Hey, welcome back to Out Here in the Garage. Back out here on this 1988 Ford Mustang GT convertible. Going to continue to work on it, upgrading the electrical system, 3G electrical system, our alternator, with a Group 65 battery. Picked this up at Rural King. Also, I got the battery tray out of a 91 or 92. They went to the bigger battery over the Group 27, I think it is. That was a real small battery. Alright, I've gone over here and got that MSD distributor cap I was talking about in a previous video. Cleaned up my Ford racing wires. Got them initially routed. A previous owner had a zip tie holding bundles together on each side, and so I'm going to improve on that. And one thing about these Ford wires, the factory Ford wires and the Ford racing ones, is they come with the cylinder designation on them, which helps if you know where that is. And over here on this side is 1, 2, 3, 4, and over here is 5, 6, 7, 8. Now if you don't have numbers on your wires, all you need is a firing order. And here's a nice reminder that I happened to do a screenshot of, got on my phone. Old Fryburger. That's one way to do it, and to get your buddy to wear a shirt like that. Alright, well, so I got that run. Now I'm working on the circuit breaker to connect to that new alternator for our power source. Looking at what kind of space we got. See, that battery is taking up a lot of space. And over here on this side of it, not much room to do anything. So what I'm looking at, I got plenty of cable. I bought cables with ends already on them. So I got this little fuse, mega fuse holder. See if you could see that. And it opens up like that, and the wires are connected inside it. And it's got 2 mounting holes, one on each end, but it's not grounded. So where I put it could be anywhere that feels comfortable. But one thing I need to do is figure out where I can mount it. Or one of my better ideas maybe was make a bracket. Hang off somewhere else and just have it sitting up here in the air where it stay cool. And I got plenty of wire here that I can route back up through here and go to the solenoid. I guess you saw that if my hands weren't in the way. Alright, and again what that the fuse was called, the little fuse. See if we can get that in the screen. Mega fuse. Little fuse, mega fuse. Alright, I picked up a cool license plate yesterday, personalized, that said Red Racer. Which I won't run it on here, I'll just hang it up here on the wall. Got the fuel lines connected. This one had the safety clip. Got it back on. I got to round up a couple of more, but I know I have some on some other lines. So that's going to work out. Then we'll go over here, and I've got the alternator and the bracket. Working on getting them cleaned up. going to just go ahead and take this pulley off of the alternator. Came right off. Those usually do. And so I'm going to take this and clean it up just with a little PB blaster. This I'll do some sanding on. I already did sand it a little bit. Just picked up an old piece of paper I had around here. Start trying to get down in here, get all the loose stuff off, rough up that area that's got some rust on it. I don't know if this had powder coat or paint on it, but some of it wants to come off, some of it doesn't. Alright, I'll come back to that in a minute. But I'm going to take this PB blaster over here, use it and use this rag. I'm just going to put a little bit on it, and I'm going to use this on this aluminum where it's oxidized. Well, all over it actually, but I'm not going to spray it because I don't want it going down inside the alternator. But that'll just kind of clean it up and give it maybe a tad of protection. Every now and then, if you're under your hood, clean that up, then it might start building up a little resistance to all the moisture. You could go crazy and sand it and polish it and all that, but I'm not on this one. This one apparently had been remanned at one time. Got a decal on there. Ultima. Can't read the full number. But the application was 94 Mustang GT. So that shouldn't be hard to look up and replace. I need to do it. Everybody probably does on these cars that you've put parts off other cars on them, is make a card, a notebook, something so that you can remember then what was on it, or the next guy that has it can figure out what you had going on, instead of just word of mouth what you did to it. You can see that starts cleaning up. I'll probably have it on me here in a minute, but I won't squeak. That's a good product. Used it on a lot of tough bolts to get undone, on the nuts, threads, but it puts a good coating on it. I believe that one's silicone free, where a lot of stuff has got silicone in it. If you're going to do painting, that'll give you a lot of trouble. Can't really do it before and after now. Without, well, you can rewind the video. Check it out. Don't really want to bore you with these little details, but this is a matter of you got to touch every part at some point if you got your car apart. On the process of getting it back together, and that's what I'm trying to do, is get this one together. Almost there, almost there. Just a little bit more. See, that's going to work. I can do it a little more. I'll let that soak in. Make sure it won't fall off the counter. Now let me get a little metal cleaner for that. Be right back. Wipe off the hands a little bit. This is that mild acid, phosphoric acid metal cleaner. It's pretty easy on the hands, but I know I got some gloves. Well, we'll just go ahead and go for it. I'm not going to put much on it. Although I could just this is that mixture I got that's 3 parts water to 1 part of the cleaner. And that's going to cure out, give us a good coating, and then I'll probably sand it one more time, then put a little black paint on there, probably some semi-gloss black. That's what I like, kind of a neutral stock sheen to it. Now on this one I'm going to paint it with some gray that I have, but the biggest problem right now is finding the paint. So that's my plan on it. Now one more thing I'll show you I got sitting over here. Not the Bud Light, that's just a box. Alright, let me move the bracket. I don't drink no Bud Light. Maybe a Yingling. I did have a Natty Light the other day though. Alright, this is electric power steering off of a Volvo. I don't remember the exact model now, but I got a screenshot in my phone, that way I can go back to it. And I was in the junkyard one day and I saw a Volvo. I said, hey, is that one of those systems? And so I started looking at it. I should have got the bracket. It had a wire bracket that mounted to that right there. But then this is the high pressure, and I read other people have already done this, so there's a connector you can get, maybe an adapter, to put the Mustang hose right to this possibly. Otherwise, just do a splice and have a union crimped in there. And then here's the return line. That's going to be pretty simple to hook up. Then you just get it in a position to where you can either use this hose for the fill, or whatever else you need to use to find a spot to mount your reservoir in a convenient spot. And then it's got these 2 heavy-duty power wires, positive and negative, and then I'm sure this is a trigger wire, and I'd read how to hook it up, and I don't have that info on me. I just saw this sitting here today and said, hey, this would be something worth showing. So that may be more or less an on-off switch. You know, hook 2 of these up, make an on-off switch. Those 2 are the same color, so that may be what that is. And then while I was getting everything, system, I went ahead and got some hardware, and these little rubber bushings that went in these holes here. So that might help me to form a bracket. And some people say, why you want to do that? Well, if you got the electrical power, you can take that off of your engine and maybe gain a little micro horsepower. And somebody's going to argue and say, no, you're not going to gain anything. But every little bit counts. Now, speaking of that, when you're talking about horsepower, I put that bigger battery in. And so now I put more weight right there in the engine compartment. Now the next argument could be, why don't you put it in the trunk? And then that'd be some more wire you got to buy too, so that's going to be weight. So at this stage, with the horsepower, it's not any gain. This is more just doing some upgrades that other people have already done. Alright, well, we're going to keep on working on this 1988 Ford Mustang GT and get this alternator prepped and its bracket and get it where we can get that on, finish up that end of the wiring, get that wiring right there with that circuit breaker situated. It's all there, it's just a matter of mounting a bracket. But then I do have to find a connector, or make a connector for the throttle position sensor, because the 94 style was different than the 88. So I can either go rob a connector off something, or I can just put some female spades on some wires and hook them up in there, but I'd rather have a connector that's a good solid connection. Alright, well, that's what we got going on right now today on the 1988 Mustang GT. So like and subscribe if you like the content of these videos, and we'll try to get more videos up as time allows. Thanks for watching out here in the garage.